Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back to Fat Cat Collections. And today I want to share with you guys another great product for your smart home. And this is another Wi-Fi enabled deadbolt. Now, I've reviewed a few of these in the past, and the one that I primarily use right now on my front door is a Z-Wave deadbolt. And the only reason I use that particular device is because when I first started looking into some of these locks, there wasn't as many on the market, and some of them were pretty expensive. And so I reached out to a company. They were nice enough to send me one, and I've shared that with you guys in the past. So I opted to leave that on the front door because I hadn't really had an experience with this lock quite yet. I wanted to make sure it's going to be something that I was going to enjoy using, and I feel like it's going to be something that's gets the primary interest to my home is my front door. I want to make sure it's something that's going to be reliable. The one I have installed in the front door right now has been reliable, so I wanted to put this one on my garage door, and maybe at a later date, if I find that I want to move this to the front door, I can go ahead and do that. So the company is called UTech, and this is their Ultraloq, and they sent me the UBolt. They have several different locks on their website. I encourage you to click the link in the description and check those out. I'll link you to their Amazon store. We can pick these up. The price point of these is great. When I got my original Z-Wave lock, if I had to buy that, I would have had to have spent the money on the lock, which is close to $200. Then, of course, I already had a SmartThings hub, and that's a Z-Wave enabled hub, and the front door lock that I have now is a Z-Wave lock. So this one here, you don't need a hub, but in order for it to work with Wi-Fi, you will need the Wi-Fi bridge, which I'll show you in a second, or in a little bit here. And let's just talk a little bit about the lock. So installation's like any other deadbolt, really easy, pretty straightforward and simple. The instruction manual is really great. I encourage you guys, if you do pick one of these up, read the instructions. Every single time I do something like this, and as of like last time when I installed the Z-Wave lock, I made sure that I read the instructions, but I actually ended up downloading the wrong app. So this store, or this company, has two apps. They have their UTech app and then their Ultraloq app. You're going to want to download the UTech app with this particular smart lock. Some of their other smart locks use a different app. So, and I'll talk about that in a little bit here. So basically all you do is you take it out of the box. Don't put the batteries in it quite yet. You want to do that after it's fully installed. You basically will put the deadbolt on, which I'll show you in a second, the keypad, which is on the opposite side of the door, and I'll pop that open again in a second. And then basically you have a mounting plate which sandwiches your, I guess, the inside bolt portion of the lock. You sandwich all that together, screw it all together, really straightforward. The line runs right through the door. You plug the line into the control box. You mount the control box, which there's two screws underneath the battery cover here. You mount that to the door, and then you just pop the battery, put the batteries in, and pop the cover on. So one thing you want to do when you do install this, and this is kind of an issue I had with this device, I think that the company ended up sending me something that somebody else had used. So make sure no matter when you get something like this, no matter, you know, just as a safety precaution, the odds of somebody else having a key or having an access code are slim to none, but you never know in today's day and age. There is a reset button on the bottom side of this lock. They give you a small pin. Make sure you just, when you put the batteries in, you reset the lock. You just put that pin in there, you'll feel the button, you'll hold it for about, I think, 10 to 15 seconds. It'll make a few beep noises confirming that it has been factory reset. That'll remove all the codes out of there, remove any kind of feature somebody else might have entered in there, like the administrative password and user preset. So that's the first and foremost thing you want to do. Once you do that, what I would recommend doing is pulling the batteries out again, and you want to lock the deadbolt, okay? Have it completely locked into the striker plate or the cutout there, naturally, like any other door, and then put the batteries in. What that's supposed to do is go into a pairing mode, which is going to calibrate the bolt in the door. And I tried it several times, and for whatever reason or another, it wouldn't calibrate for me, because what it's supposed to do, and in the manual it says so, that when you have it locked, you put the batteries in, it'll make a few beeps, and it'll actually move on its own. And what that's doing, in my front door one, the Z-Wave one has done this, it's calibrating how far the bolt comes out into the I guess into the, not the striker plate, but the cutout inside your door frame. Mine didn't do that. So it seems to be working perfectly, even though it did not do that. I am going to reach out to the company to find out why it didn't go into that mode. Maybe it detects if it's completely extended like mine is right now. Maybe it doesn't have to calibrate. Maybe, of course, if it was maybe maybe if the cutout wasn't as deep, maybe the lock would have calibrated. So maybe in this case it didn't have to. I would like to get information on that, but that's how you're supposed to install it. So maybe you'll have better luck than I did on that. Once it calibrates, you're good to go. At that point, then you can go ahead and add your user settings. You're going to want to first add administrative password, and then you'll add an access code. And that can be different family members. With this device, if you do get the Wi-Fi bridge, you'll be able to control this and see who's entering your home at different times. So let's say, now for me, I'm a single guy, I live alone. I didn't need to have any kind of access codes. I just let my family, when they're going to come over or whatnot, I don't make a special code for them. I'm not really too concerned with them having their own code. They can just use mine. I don't have a lot of traffic in and out of my house. But if you do have several people living with you, you can actually set this up where everybody has their own code. You can see who's coming and going, who's locked the door, who's unlocked the door. You have full access, again, if you have the Wi-Fi adapter, Wi-Fi bridge, okay? This thing basically comes... Thought I heard some. This thing basically comes Bluetooth enabled. So you have a key, you have a keypad, and then Bluetooth. With the phone, with your phone, you can control this. Bluetooth has to be on, so I'm just going to demonstrate how it works. Basically, I'll open up the app here, UTech app. There it is. And so right here, so I'll make sure there's no private information you guys will see here. I'm going to cover this up a little bit, but you can actually set. Actually, I'm not going to do this. You can actually set a picture of each door. So let's say you had multiple doors in your house. I only have two. My front door, my garage, well, three. My garage door, into the garage, and then a back door. My back door, I opted not to put a digital keypad lock in because my backyard's fenced in. I don't have access unless I jump the fence, and I would never really come into the back door of my house. And I have a very large glass window, so for security reasons, somebody could, if they wanted to, punch. I do have a security bar, so it'd be very difficult to get in, but somebody could break out that glass, reach in, and turn the deadbolt. So I have a double-keyed deadbolt, so somebody would actually have to crawl through the glass to get in. So, but if let's say you have different homes, you have several of these locks, and the app allows you to take a picture of each lock, and it shows a picture. I'm going to try to show you this here. It shows a picture of a manufacturer's picture, and then the door, the picture that you've added to the app. So pretty cool. Kind of a nice feature, so you can easily, you have a picture to go with, you know, your actual door. I'll just go ahead and open that up here. And what it's going to do is connect. Bluetooth does have to be on. You can see here that the door is locked. So I'm just going to press that. And it's pretty quick. You'll hear that it opened up. You see it's obviously it's green and open. I'm just going to lock it again really fast. So as far as the other features, you can set this to automatically lock. So once the door becomes unlocked, you can set it between 3 minutes and 5 minutes where it'll automatically lock. I turn that feature off for now because I'm using this in my garage, and I go in and out of my garage quite a bit if I'm working out there. So I really don't want this thing automatically locking. Now, you won't get locked out because it does have the keypad, but it might be something I turn on a later date, and I haven't really messed around with configuring this yet. I might set this up, and I think you can do it with IFTT and different macros that if you lock, let's say, your front door, this will automatically lock. So I'm hoping I can kind of get that integrated together. Once I am able to do that and I mess around with this a little bit more, I'll come back and let you guys know what I've done. For instance, I have the MyQ garage door opener, which is a Wi-Fi enabled kind of a smart garage door opener. And what would be kind of nice is if I close the garage door, that this automatically locks. Or if I open the garage door, this would automatically open as well. So that's the kind of things I'm going to set up at a later date. And I will come back and re-review the product like I do every single product. Let you guys know, do I still like it? Did I have any kind of glitches? Anything wrong with it? Does it still work? And that kind of stuff. So other than that, it's pretty straightforward. So you can actually, again, use the app. One thing you want to do is once you get all this installed, go to the app and make sure that you download new firmware. Usually these things are sitting in boxes for the most part, and firmware has been updated. You always want to update the firmware because they're always trying to get rid of different bugs and glitches and possible security issues. So download the firmware. This does have a couple different features. You can actually do a magic shake, which allows you to shake your phone. You can set this up with sort of like a geofence where if you come home, it detects that you're there. It'll automatically unlock or lock, I believe. But those are kind of features that I just opted to have disabled right now. I prefer just to control, being able to, for me, I like the convenience of being able to just have the keypad. So, for instance, on my front door, if I'm going to go out on a run or go outside or whatever and I want to lock the door, I don't have to worry about taking my wallet, my keys, none of that stuff. I'll always have a way to access. It's great for, especially for if you have a bunch of people coming and going from your house. You can also set temporary codes that will expire. So let's say you have some guests coming over. Let's say you have one of your friends going to stay with you. You don't want them to have your a key to your house, so to speak, you can go ahead and just enter a new code for them. That'll be a temporary code which will expire. And I haven't done all that. These are some of the features that you can use. Now, I will say that the shake part of this, it allows you to, I guess, shake your phone near the door and it'll unlock. To me, I've seen that as kind of a pointless feature, I'll be honest with you, because you already have the ability to open it up with the app, okay? You have all the ability to use the keypad. So I guess if your hands are really full and you had your phone in your hand, you could shake it like that and it'll unlock. I think it's kind of a stupid feature, to be honest with you. I would have liked to have the UBolt Pro because I think the thumbprint feature is really cool. Just be able to go up there, put your thumb on it, and have access. But again, that wasn't available, so they sent me this. So you do have a status light on here, and I'm not really sure how this works because it just never seems to really go on. So I'm not really sure. It would be kind of nice if this thing turned green when it was unlocked, you know, for maybe a minute or so, and then when you lock it, it would turn red. And I think it's supposed to turn red. I'm not sure. Let's try it again with the app just to see if this thing actually changes color at all. So we're connecting right now. And so it's locked. Gonna unlock it. So no change in light color there. And let's lock it again. So I'm not really sure what the point of that is, to be honest with you. So that's why we do these reviews, to share this product. I think overall it's a great device. It's nice that you can have something like this, even if you don't want to have the Wi-Fi capability of it, which I'm going to show you that next piece in a second, and then show you the deadbolt. It's nice to be able to just have the access control with your phone. As long as you're within a 10-foot range of the device, you can lock and unlock the door using your phone. Everybody has a phone with Bluetooth for the most part, so that's great. You don't need a hub. I believe right now the price on this is $129, and that's through the Amazon store. Double check the link. That's going to be your most current pricing. But let's check out the Bolt. Now, the only thing I don't like about this cosmetically is that it's black on one side, and I have nickel or stainless steel doorknobs and fixtures and hinges throughout the house. So it doesn't really match my door. Not a huge deal. I wish they would have made this in a silver, but it's all black. But you know, it's not much different than the other one. A lot of them are gonna, I guess, be like that. So kind of nitpicking there. But when we open it up here, we'll show you guys what it looks like. I just got to pick up the camera now. And so this is what it looks like. Excuse some of my coats here. You have the, let's do this. Let's do it like this. Actually, it's be easier. Turn the camera around this. So pretty straightforward. It's kind of like a satin, I guess, kind of like a satin finish, not a brush. So it doesn't match the doorknob. And that's kind of one of the reasons I didn't put it on the front door as well, because it did not match the brush finish. It is available in a black or, again, this color here. In the garage, I'm not too concerned with it. Again, it wouldn't look bad, but I just opted to use it on the garage door. So you have your keypad here, and you have your lock. So if you know, as a backup, you'll always have a key. It is recommended to have a key hidden somewhere outside the house, just in case of a battery failure or a power failure, or a battery failure, really. The new Pro version actually has a USB port, which you can, if God forbid you got locked out of the house and you need to provide power to the device, you can plug in your USB power bank. It'll actually power the device for you to get in. Pretty straightforward. If you want to go ahead and enter into the home, basically just press that button right there. Well, it's going to lock it, obviously, first. But let's say it's locked right now. We're going to go into the home. We'll just activate the keypad, like so. And you don't have to do that. You can enter in the code, but obviously it's backlit with these nice white LED lights. In this case, obviously it'll turn off. So I'm going to enter my code in so you guys can't see that. And then once you enter your code, you'll hit the open button. So that's the only thing about this device. It's a little different than the other lock I have. My other lock, once you enter your code in, it automatically opens. This, you actually have to confirm it. The other cool thing about this device is that it has what they call, I think it's like a ghost numbers or whatnot. So let's say somebody's, you know, to prevent prying eyes, you can enter in, I believe, up to 11 digits, as long as you enter in your code in sequence. So let's say your code was 555, let's say 5555. You can enter in a whole bunch of numbers before and after, and it'll still recognize your code sequence. So that's pretty cool, because let's say you have somebody around you, or let's say you live in an area where people might see, and this doesn't necessarily have to be used on a home. This could be used, in a business, wherever you want to use this. you can actually enter in dummy digits and prevent somebody from actually, you know, I guess looking over your shoulder and getting the code. So pretty straightforward there. That's really about it. Again, you have your keyed access there as well. I like the design. It's nice and small and compact. The only thing that's a little bit difficult with it is that you almost have to illuminate the digits in order to see it. They're a little bit hard to see unless you activate the backlight. And you can see that this button right down here, the enter button, actually will turn green or blue depending on what you're doing. So that's really about it with the device. I mean, it's a little bit difficult, honestly, to go around in a circle and enter the code. Not a horrible thing, but we're all kind of used to the way a normal keypad works on a phone. And normally, like, my front door one actually has the keypads in a standard, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 configuration. This one here is a little bit different, so not a big deal at all. And I think maybe the reason why they made the numbers kind of hard to see was to prevent people from actually seeing the digits. So just my guess, not 100% sure. So I'm just gonna close this on up here as I slam the bolt into the molding. That's great, way to go. All right, so we're just gonna go ahead and leave that open for now. So I want to demonstrate something else here. So what I want to do now is show you guys the Wi-Fi bridge. And this is what it looks like right here. I know it's kind of dark. Let me turn on some lights. So it's basically just a little small device like this, and what this does is you connect this to your network via their app. It's really easy to do, like you connect any other smart device. You connect this to your Wi-Fi network, and then what happens is this actually communicates with the deadbolt. So what this is doing is, let's say you're outside your network, or let's say you're upstairs and you don't have, I'm just gonna turn the camera back on me. Let's say you're at a distance where you're beyond the 10 feet, okay? You're not going to be able to use this if you're past 10 feet for the most part. Bluetooth does have a range. I mean, again, Bluetooth is pretty decent, but there is a range to it. So let's say you wanted to check the status of your door from outside your home or past that 10-foot range. You would need to have that to make this Wi-Fi enabled. What happens is, if, let's say I'm out and about, I'm like, geez, did I lock the door? I can go to my phone, press the lock button, and check the status, press the lock button, and then what will happen is your phone will communicate through the network. That will send a Bluetooth signal to the lock. So that has to be within 10 feet of the lock for that to work as well. So it was really easy to set up. There's a status light on there. Basically, it flashes yellow, and then once it's connected to your network, it stays a steady green. It'll tell you whether you have good signal or not between the network and, of course, the lock. It's a fantastic device. This thing works great. I believe the lock, again, is $129, and I think that the bridge is, I think, about 40 bucks. But again, don't quote me on that. Check for the most recent pricing. They're always having sales. Most companies do. Again, I'll put a link in description for this lock through the Amazon store. So overall, I think it's a great product. I think you get a lot of bang for your buck. Really easy to set up. It's great that you don't have to have a Z-Wave bridge. And what's really great about this as well, and you might be saying, well, why didn't they put the Wi-Fi capability in the lock? Well, Wi-Fi is kind of power hungry for the most part. And so devices like this that are powered by battery, they tend to, you know, some devices like that I have, like cameras that are Wi-Fi enabled and battery powered, they'll last for maybe like 4 to 6 months. But how they work is they kind of power down, and they only come on when there's motion. So with something like this, you wouldn't want to have this connected to your network, because that does drain power, of course. And the reason behind this is that Bluetooth is really low consumption when it comes to power draw. And so basically you have the Wi-Fi bridge plugged in, and that's communicating with the lock via Bluetooth. So this will last on 4 AA batteries up to 1 year. So that's fantastic. And being that it is motorized, of course, you want to make sure your batteries are always in tip-top shape. I assume possibly in the app it might tell you if you're running low on juice or not, but I haven't tested that yet. And anyway, that's about it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions whatsoever, do not hesitate to ask. I will come back and re-review this product again once I mess around with seeing the different integrations you can do with it. It is also compatible with the Google Home, and I want to demonstrate that before we go. So what you can do is, now I'm not going to unlock the door because that requires me to say my passcode, and actually I can demonstrate. I can demonstrate what Google will say. So I can say, hey Google, lock the garage entry.
Sure, locking the garage entry. Before I go, I'd like to know how satisfied you are with that last experience. How would you rate it if 1's the worst and 5's the best?
Well, not bad, Google. 4. I don't know why it's doing that.
Sorry, I don't know how to help with that yet.
Well, now you get a 1. All right, so anyway, so now if you want to unlock the door, this is what would happen. Hey, Google, unlock the garage entry.
Can I have your security code to unlock the garage entry?
Cancel.
Sorry, I don't know how to help with that.
So anyway,
What would happen there is if I would have said my passcode that you'll set up through the app, it will unlock the door. So this can be kind of handy if, let's say you know, mind you, I have mine on my garage door. If you had this on your front door and you have a guest coming over, that would be pretty handy just to say, hey, you know, unlock the door, and without having to get up. Let's say you're upstairs using another Google Home, you can do that if you had somebody coming over who did not have maybe your passcode, or you just felt like being lazy and not getting up to unlock the door. So pretty fully featured. It's great that it works with the Google Assistant. You can also use the Google Assistant and text that information to the device on the fly, or sitting at home. You can open up the Google Assistant app and just say, you know, unlock the door, like anything else that's added to the Google Assistant. So that's it, guys. I hope you liked the video. I think it's a fantastic product. It works like it says it does, and it would have been nice to have the UBolt Pro because that gives you that fingerprint access. If I would have got that device, I definitely would have used that on the front door, but the one that's already on there, I figured why remove that lock as well when this is perfect for what it is. So, all right, well, once again, I want to thank UTech for sending me the Ultraloq UBolt. It is very much appreciated. I hope to do business with them in the future. They have a lot of really great products. If this one may not work for you, they have combinations where you can have a matching door handle, which I didn't request because I was in the impression I was going to get the other lock. And this one here would have been, they did have a combo, which would have replaced the handle as well, and I definitely would have used that on the front door because then you'd have a matching up deadbolt and handle. But this is fine, no problem. I think it's a great device either way. And yeah, if you guys have any questions whatsoever, drop a comment, drop me an email. My email address is in the description there. I'm always here to help you guys. Let me know what you think of the video. If you have any good experiences or bad experiences, drop a comment as well. You know, knowledge is power, so it's good to pass on that to other people. And thanks for watching, guys. You have a wonderful day, and take care.